Eden Zero is almost over. Just 2 more chapters after this one, and this amazing series is finally going to come to its end. But there's still a lot more for us to talk about in terms of this series, and I cannot wait to see what's going to happen up to this conclusion. And we had another great and emotional chapter this week, as things seem to finally be wrapping up, as well as one last loose end that might be answered. But before we jump into this chapter, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. Really helps and it shows you guys enjoy the content I make here on the channel and shows you want to see more. I'm trying to hold back the tears because I do not want this series to be over just yet, and we only have 2 more chapters after this one, so I'm not ready to say goodbye just yet. But on to the chapter. Chapter 291 of Eden Zero, titled My Role, with the message at the beginning of this cover image being Shiki, Witch, and Pino being Tio. So putting the words that we have so far together, it's arigato. So it is the Japanese word for thank you, but 2 more chapters means we'll get 2 more things for the final message of Eden Zero that Mashima has been putting in these covers. But onto the chapter. Shiki, after coming out of nowhere, flies towards Rebecca. As last chapter, we discover the truth about what the chronophage was, how it came to be, and future Rebecca's fate, as future Rebecca is trying to take over current Rebecca's body so she can start again, reclaim her time, and restart the universe. Shiki goes off towards Rebecca as she begins to slowly say her name. But then a bright light shows off as the chronophage is beginning to be expelled from Rebecca. As Chronobecca is stating, "Stop it. The body is mine. I finally found it. I won't let anyone else have it. It's my lost time." As Rebecca, literally, her whole life was stolen from her by that one instance and being lost through time and having no memory of what's happened. Everyone's stating what's going on, as Ziggy states it's gravity. Shiki's using gravity to force the chronophage out of Rebecca. And Shiki begins to say, "I'm supposed to be your friend, but I couldn't figure it out," referring to the fact that he literally fought Chronobecca, and through that whole thing, despite us the audience knowing pretty obviously that this was a somewhat warped future version of Rebecca, Shiki couldn't figure it out, and now that he knows it, he feels awful that he couldn't realize. As we keep saying, "I want to help. I want you to remember. Remember your friends," as we keep getting close-ups of Rebecca as knowledge and shock is beginning to hit her in her soul as she's starting to slowly remember. Shiki states, "All the adventures we went on, the path we walked together, that's the bond that we share." As we get a full 2-page spread of every significant moment within Rebecca's life, involving Shiki, the Eden Zero crew, and some of her fights. All of her most emotional and heartfelt moments are now here, and she's starting to remember as the chronophage is being pulled away from her. And I just love collages like this where characters remember their past. I know it's kind of cheesy, but I love these types of images. It's so cool, it's so wholesome, and it's so heartwarming as well. As in that instance, Rebecca starts to cry and says, "I'm Rebecca," as everyone reacts to her finally remembering as she starts to cry. Shiki then grabs on and hugs Rebecca as another 2-page spread, and we see the 2 of them just together floating in space, as the rest of the chronophage expels and dissipates from her, disappearing for good, as the chronophage is now fully erased from the universe. As Pino states that the chronophage ether completely evaporated, as Rebecca stares right at Shiki, wondering what's going on. Shiki says hello, and Rebecca then realizes she is not wearing clothes and is wondering how the hell they're floating in the middle of space. But yeah, there's like this energy around the 2 of them, and I believe that's both Shiki's ether as well as hers, managing to keep them, from suffocating in space. I still have no idea how Happy is not suffocating in space, but we're gonna roll with it. Shiki then says, "Let's go home, back to the Eden Zero," as Rebecca smiles, stating yeah, as we get one last image of the Earth before we cut back to the Eden Zero. As we get a nice whole collage, a whole montage of just everybody reacting to the return of our main group. As the shining stars run up towards Ziggy, Happy's jumping up and cheering, Shiki and Rebecca look at each other, as the next page is them holding hands, staring off at their friends, with the 2 of them just smiling right at each other. Honestly, this is really wholesome, and I love it, and it shows that these 2 are literally having a strong moment, and this more or less kind of confirms that they're a thing at this point. You don't just show moments like this in any series and be like, they're not dating, they're not having any really strong feelings towards each other. It's right in their face, it's isolated, and it's showcasing just these two characters in this moment. So Mashima's telling us something without actually blurting it out to us in terms of text bubbles. Though I need an actual love confession from one of them at this point just to get it out there. The montage continues. We get an image of Wise, an image of Homura. We get Witch and Ziggy talking to each other. We get a brief image of Sister, Valkyrie, Hermit, and Wise off in the corner dancing as Pino smiles as she's up against the wall, stating, "You all look so happy. Makes me happy too. I really am glad I got to meet all of you. Thank you for everything. It appears that my role is finished. Goodbye, Master," as Pino plumps on the floor with the chapter ending, implying that Pino is gone. Okay, so emotions, many of which are happy and now many of which are sad, because look, I don't think Pino's like dead. At least I think she's dead for now. And Mashima's not going to fully kill off Pino. I think I have an idea of where this is going, because this is one plot point that does need to be addressed from the beginning of Eden Zero. But this still is sad. Pino's looking at all of her friends and everyone she cares about, being all happy and coming together, stating how it makes her happy too. She goes off to the edge and basically dies in a corner, smiling. I just can't, man. Pino's like literally the heart of this series at this point. She's the most wholesome character in Eden Zero and has always been there through every major instance. Heck, she was the reason why Shiki managed to beat Ziggy a long time ago. And I don't know. I really hope Pino's not dead, but she is dead for now. Now, let me get into the main plot point that still is left to be not done in Eden Zero. Pino's wish. Remember, when you get to see Mother, you're supposed to get your wish granted. And while Mother is now back at, well, Earth, the possibility of Pino being reborn might still be the case. Pino right now might be dead. Her friends might end up mourning her in the next chapter, but then having to move on with their lives. But I do think Pino will be reborn as a human like she always wanted. That was her wish. That was her dream. And so, if I'm going to make a prediction, by the end of next chapter, or in the last few pages of Eden Zero, we will see human Pino. And I don't think she's going to have her memories of her past life. She'll be fully reborn as a whole new person. I wouldn't be surprised, now that Earth's there, Pino will be reborn as a human on Earth and live out her life as a human. And that is a nice moment. That would be really cool, and I do think that's where Mashima's going with this. And I'm really happy that that's going to be the case, because I don't want Pino to die. I really don't want Pino to die. She's very wholesome. She's adorable. She's the heart and soul of this series. I would have not liked it, even though it would make sense. But yeah, these next two chapters are most likely just going to be wrap-ups for all the characters, setting things up for the epilogue, essentially, for the last chapter, and closing out the series. I have no clue where we're going next with this. I'm still trying to process the fact that this series is basically over in 2 weeks. A lot's going to happen. But I want to hear from you guys. What did you think of this chapter? How do you feel about everything that's going on in general for Eden Zero? How do you feel about basically Shiki Rebecca basically being a thing now? And how do you feel about Pino dying and the possibility that was brought out there that Pino might be reborn? I kind of owe this to my friend JK Network over on X, on Twitter, basically pointing this out for this theory, and I do think this is very possible and very likely, and I do think Mashima is going to go for it. But that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope you liked the video. Like and subscribe, hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. Really helps, shows you guys enjoy the content I make here on the channel, and shows you want to see more. I'm not ready for Eden Zero to be gone. I might make videos related to Eden Zero still in the future, but I don't know, it just won't feel the same.